And now, from Grid Square Echo Mike 48, this is 100 Watts and a Wire.
Well, hello.
Hey.
To 100 Watts and a Wire, it's Christian. My call sign is Kilo Zero Sierra Tango Hotel. I'm joined by Steve, Whiskey 7 United Delta India, and it is that Christmas week. The Hamily, Hamily is coming over. We're going to do something a little I mean, you know, the beauty of 100 Watts and a Wire, if there is any beauty to it, is anytime we have a lady joining us, and then that's about it. So then the flexibility becomes, you know, the thing for me that I enjoy the most, and we can bring people in. Now that we're doing a live stream, we can bring the Hamily in. Exactly. And so a little secret is that today I'm going to share the link to get into the backstage area here and to join us to share your Christmas stories. I just ask that you give us your name and your call sign. That way we keep the riffraff down in case any haters come in. I don't think anybody really hates. Do they really?
Nah.
They may be curmudgeons.
Get off my lawn.
But to keep everybody sort of friendly and cool, just give us your name and your call sign. That way, you know, I'll be comfortable bringing you up if we haven't met. But I do welcome everybody here, and I'm glad you could join us. We do this every Saturday. We're live streaming the show now. If you've been with us for, it's going to be over 5 years soon, and we're creeping up on 300 episodes.
Holy smokes. It's getting there.
It's really gone fast, and, you know, so
time flies.
It's just nutty. So, you know, all the archive stuff lives at the website, 100wattsandawire.com. Now, if you subscribe to YouTube, and you can subscribe to the channel, click the bell for notifications. I'm adding streams slowly, a very rock and roll lifestyle that I've led in my profession, and creeping up on 30 years. If we haven't hit that mark yet, I think in the new year, that's what we'll be looking at. But, you know, so yesterday I started doing a 100 Watts and a Wire sound check. Sound check comes before the pre-show meet and greets. Pre-show comes before the actual show. So I think the next possible step will be the after party, the after show, and that'll be adult beverages. I don't know. We'll figure that part out later. But how are you doing, Steve? Do you have everything you need for the holiday? I mean, you know, we can't get out like we used to. We do all our ordering,
Yeah, I'm pretty, I got a fair amount of it done. It's, I have it. I'm good. I'm real good. So there's a few little things that I'll probably try to finish up this weekend, and we'll just go from there. It's a really weird year. It's been just really, really just strange. We started early, which is part of the weirdness, you know, decorating the house. It's always waited till after Thanksgiving and just kind of have everything in place. But, you know, around Halloween, all the Christmas stuff started coming out in the stores, and it just kind of was weird. And, but it's, you know, making the best of it. You know, it's been 2020. Just can't wait for it to go and get into the new year and have some hope for some normalcy, basically.
Yeah. And you know what? I think, so yesterday started this new thing with the sound check, and it required an actual sound check. I had changed over from a personal account to a branded account with YouTube, and this platform playing with that platform was a little like, what did you do? Like, you need to, and I just thought about this. I need to send Paul and Karen, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to send it here. I'm going to open this show up and invite other people in. I'm going to post this in the chat. But what I think I did, Steve, is when I did that, it like changed the link. I had to reschedule something, and it changed it. So I need to make sure that Karen and Paul get here. And what am I talking about, Karen and Paul? Who's Karen and Paul? They like new couple down the road? That's what it kind of sounds like. No, they are from Amateur Radio Newsline. We're going to be doing a new segment this week called The Radio News, and that's coming up in a bit. And I think I may have broken the link that I sent them. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to post this in the chat, and you guys pick it up. Paul, you pick it up. Karen, you pick it up. Others can pick it up, and then you can come join us here. We're going to talk about Christmas today, things you're looking at, great Christmas past type stories. But I need to make sure we get Paul and we get Karen into the show. So you guys join along. Any cool things that you've done this week? My biggest one is now I'm on vacation. I'm on vacation and I'm not going back until the 4th. And I don't even want to look at email. I don't want to talk to these people, basically. I don't call me. I sent my team a note. And it was capitals. I'm really going to unplug from this. So, and I'll go out at 2:30 or 3:30. It was 3:30 on Thursday. Started early in the day, and don't call me. It was like, you figure it out. Just don't burn the papers down. We got Thomas Jefferson's papers upstairs. Try not to start a fire or burn the place down, and everything will be cool. So there you have it. And then I did nothing. I think I took a swift nap. I just took a nap and
pre-nap for the before the sound check.
Pre-nap before the sound check, before the pre-show to the big show, and then the after party.
And then the after show, and then in the after show.
The after
late night,
the late back night at the hotel show, which
late night with Christian.
That's pretty exclusive. But I want to welcome everybody in. I'm going to kind of put the key out there to the green room, and we'll try to bring you up as we go. But we want to get Paul and Karen Eve Murray situated. Paul's in line. We'll wait for Karen. So, Paul, I don't know if you'll need to just kind of double back with her, but I just remembered that she may not have the proper link for this. What'd you do this week, Steve? Did you get out there in the cold and
oh yeah, well, it was
climb a tower?
No, climbing a tower. We're doing spent a long day Tuesday. A lot of road time out to one of our sites to do a change out our microwave shot, going from the old TDM base to a new hybrid or more or less Ethernet based terrestrial microwave. So for folks that don't know, I'm a communications technician, foreman for utility. So we keep the one way to keep the lights on is keep the microwave network going, and fiber and everything else. So the equipment I was replacing was bought in 2011, installed in 2011. So it's coming on 10 years. So it's and we need more bandwidth. Everything is becoming more and more bandwidth. So we're out upgrading the equipment and just doing a lot of that. And yeah, that was pretty much work wise. And then Wednesday night was on Ham Nation for a little bit, and that's been pretty much the week. We had one more cut scheduled for Thursday, but that kind of fell apart and ran into a few little issues, and it was like, well, let's delay it, and so that'll be next week. So my vacation doesn't start till after Christmas. I usually take the week off between Christmas and New Year's just to kind of decompress. And hey, Don, good morning, Don Wilbanks.
Don Wilbanks here on the show, AE5DW, talking
Fire
about
up the old webcam and join us here, buddy.
Yeah, I'm going to send out that link again. I want to make sure that we've got a VIP coming to do a segment today, the editor of Amateur Radio Newsline. Don is not on the VIP list. He's too expensive, actually, to come here. He hangs with those big kids. But you mentioned Ham Nation, so and I don't think it's not a secret. It was brought out on the show this week. I started getting text messages and things like that talking about Ham Nation being canceled on Twit. And I don't know. This is probably not even worth commenting on, but the reality is that Ham Nation's going to be okay. Ham Nation is going to land softly on YouTube, the platform that we're trying to move toward. We've got the audio podcast, but we're moving toward. And with Facebook being Facebook and Zucky getting people upset and privacy people getting upset, I think it's appropriate to find a new thing. Google is enormous. Some people don't want to deal with Google, though. They certainly don't want to deal with Facebook. So I think YouTube is a good move. It's a good move for us, and I think it's a good move for Ham Nation. 10 years with anybody, especially in the media production game, is a great run. And I don't think if you enjoy that show, you have to worry. I think it's going to be okay. I think it's going to be okay. Just Ham Radio Crash Course will be the place where you find it on YouTube, and I guess that begins in the new year. Not worried at all.
January 6th. I keep saying June. Yeah,
That's
January
first
6th
Wednesday.
So it will it'll be there. It's just a different format and slightly changed, and it will be good. It'll be fine. So we're just shifting gears and off we go.
All right, good. Hey, I know Paul can hear me. Paul is waiting in the backstage area of the green room. He seems to be eating a lot of the staff food right now, but
all those cookies, all those sugar cookies that were left behind in the green room are now gone.
We were going to
Paul.
decorate cookies together with the crew, but
couldn't you wait?
If you'll share that link with her, Paul, I can't get to her contact now, but just to make sure she gets in. Yeah, he took the bagels. Thank you guys for coming in. It's a little different. I really enjoy this as a broadcaster. This reminds me of, it feels like home to be able to communicate with people in a two-way sort of deal. We can do that here on the stream. And so I'm opening it up to everyone and just want to and
including
bring
you,
your
Don.
Christmas. Who? Don?
Including Don, yeah.
I don't know if Don has a webcam. Does he do anything like this?
No, he does.
Of course he does. Don's a good guy. And I dropped him a note after the news of Ham Nation finding a new home. And,
now we'll just got to wait and see if he'll have a cigar or a pipe.
Going to be fine. You could rest assured, though, no matter what happens, he's going to break my balls.
Oh, yeah.
He's going to break my balls. You're going to break his balls. Balls are going to be all over. We'll be standing there belly laughing as our balls roll down. Oh, speaking of that, and this is a holiday, I saw the sweaty balls SNL bit that you were going on about. He sent me a text like last week, real early in the week, and he's like, I'm watching sweaty balls.
Sweaty balls.
Yeah. I had to do a double take. I'm like,
I had to watch that again. It just still cracks me up.
We taped it. That's on our VCR, on our VCR tape. There's these cartridges that are about that you push them in. We DVR'd it or whatever it's called and watched it back last night. And it's just gold. And I go off laughing hysterically because it's meant to be what you'd hear on the radio. It's funny to watch it.
Oh, yeah.
But to hear them talk as you would be hearing it on the radio it's hysterical. I love that bit.
Yeah, that bit, you don't need the video. Even though the video does help, but that's one of those where you could just turn up the audio and walk away and do something else and you'll still be cracking up. It's perfect for radio.
Riff Raff is here. Ed is here. DD5LP from Germany. He says, Riff Raff. I try to keep the Riff Raff down. Here's another one. 2E. That's 0. Romeo Echo Andy.
I think that's from England. That's
cool.
I think that's their foundation license.
We all know Edwin. Edwin is in the red light district in Amsterdam. Well, maybe he's
staying above the noise.
Maybe he's not there now.
Those
he also says
red
Don
LED lights.
He says Don is a celebrity ham.
Yes, he is. He's the man.
He's the man. Okay, Todd. Todd is here. Where's Don at? I'm missing him. Okay, see, Don, get together. Come and join us. Larry says, I have a list of all my favorite YouTubers, and you're not on it. No, he continues to say, yeah, okay.
That's probably good.
Yeah, I can't even read it. I think that is a different language.
Okay, so we've been general class is the 2E0 according to Ed.
General class. I think Ham Nation only has 20,000 duds. You mean subs? Josh has 160,000. Ham Nation is going to get a boost. That's fine. I don't look at. I have 1,000. So yeah, I'm according to that philosophy. But engagement, I think, is what I go for, and I bet you every YouTuber creating content is looking to take whatever audience they have and have a good bit of that audience watching. So it's true. Josh has a huge channel. He's got to be the biggest ham radio YouTuber there. Mm-hmm. There's some very big ones. I mean, tens of thousands, 30,000s, 50-some thousands. And Josh has been grinding it out for a decade. He's been doing it a long time, and he does a lot of content. They're going to be just fine. Don't you worry. All right. Grab your balls. Grab your balls. Okay. Look at this.
Hey, Rockstar.
How are you, sir?
Good morning. It's about time you got some quality
talent.
Talent on this show.
Yeah, well, we need all the help we can get.
and actually somebody with actual hair.
Oh,
that would be nice.
Oh, wow, here comes the ball busting.
I love you guys.
I miss you, buddy.
I love you too, buddy.
I pick because I love. If I'm leaving you alone, you really need to ask why.
Exactly. There's something wrong.
That's right. That's exactly right.
Yeah. So
good morning. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas, man. I love your those your pajamas, right? You just sleep like this. You got a gig later today. What's going on?
No, I probably, I'm not going to tell you how I sleep.
Well, I kind of know how you sleep.
Well,
you spoon. There was that one time in Dayton. I didn't know.
Not in front of Stevie.
I know
how jealous he gets.
Yeah. Hey, I thought you and I had a thing, Don.
There goes another part of my algorithm. Jesus. Let's talk about Jesus, please. Anybody?
Let's not bring him into this.
No, he doesn't deserve this.
He would not. No, he wouldn't approve.
This is already a strange place. But hey, we're starting something new today. I'm going to wait for Karen to join.
Yeah, this is cool. This is exciting. I like it.
I'm going to do the radio news. So anything, and you'd be welcome to join us too on a particular week. She's going to pull a couple of stories, and I think we could blow them out just a little bit. Maybe pick a story that doesn't get noticed or hits the cutting room floor, and it's the one about the dog that hits the HT and sends a beacon, and everyone saves, and the ship doesn't go down.
I like it.
Yeah. So you'll join us.
Anytime you can give Karen Eve Murray more camera time is a good thing.
Yeah, we need more ladies.
She, she in particular, she toils behind the scenes of Amateur Radio Newsline, and she writes the thing. We wouldn't have Amateur Radio Newsline if it wasn't for Karen Eve Murray.
True.
Because when Skeeter Nash and I had that it's been over 5 years ago now, had that final conversation on the phone with Bill Pasternak, WA6ITF. Those of you who may be new to Amateur Radio Newsline, he was the founder and driving force 40 years ago, and he passed away 5 years ago.
God, it's been 5 years. It seems
Skeeter,
like
I know. Isn't it crazy? My phone rings, and it's Skeeter Nash, and he's on a three-way now with me and Bill, and we're talking about what's going to happen because Bill was Bill in the hospital? I think he was either in the hospital at that time or he was at home, one of the two. And sadly, Bill's wife, who was just horribly afflicted with Alzheimer's, she passed away a few months ago. So we remember her in our prayers. But we were talking about people who could help us post Bill because Bill knew that the time was near. And so Skeeter says, we've got this YL in New York who did some writing for New York Newsday and a few other things. And he started going down Karen's resume, and Bill just stopped him right then and just said, hire her, hire her, hire her.
He knew.
And the next day, Bill was dead.
The next day or within 2 days. I believe he passed the next day. And so, we brought Karen in. Karen thought, well, I'm just going to be, this is a story that she could tell better, but she said, I just thought I was going to be helping. And all of a sudden I'm writing the thing. And we could not do it without her. I have the utmost love and respect for her and for everyone who stepped in post Bill to help us continue what he started, because we couldn't do it without all of those people. And in fact, we just bringing on a new voice this week who you have not heard yet. So that's to be announced. Okay. Well, good deal. All right. So we've got somebody at the door. I need to, I'm going to drop somebody off. Not you, Don. Hang in here for a second.
I'm going to go refill my coffee.
You refill. And thanks for stopping by. We're going to do this bit, but maybe we come back and join us on the back. So we're going to talk about some story. I know you got Christmas stories. Anybody that's got the Christmas suit.
Makeup. Well, go ahead and drop my video while I go get my coffee. There's
Just
no sense in you looking at the backdrop.
make some lies up about you meeting Santa. Something 3-way in the snow.
It's Santa Don.
We'll figure that out. How cool is that? We've had
That is
Fabio in the pre-show meet and greet, and then
we got Santa Don. So we
got Santa Don, and we're gonna wait here. We're gonna take a break, and when we come back, I'm gonna wait till we pull Karen up. But I got to say, Don, he wouldn't admit to this, but he's always supported my work on this show. Like we share a thing for blues. We both love the blues music, all that stuff, and. Well, a story maybe I'll share with when he comes back up here. It's not a happy story, but we can save it when he comes back up. And we're going to try to get Karen on the line, bring Karen back in here, and get on with this news piece here. So I'll make a little room. We'll take a little break, and we'll come back in about a minute, hopefully with everybody in line. We'll be back after this. The ICOM 705 is your perfect QRP companion as you have base station features and functionality at the tip of your fingers, but it's in a portable package covering HF 6 meters, 2 meters, and 70 centimeters. This compact rig weighs in at 1 kilo or just over 2 pounds, with RF direct sampling for most of the HF band and IF sampling for frequencies above 25 megahertz. It's got that large 4.3-inch color touchscreen with live band scope and waterfall. And the perfect accessory for the IC705 is the optional backpack. It's the LC192. It has a special compartment for the IC705 and room for accessories for soda activations or just a day in the park. Visit icomamerica.com/amateur for more information on all ICOM radios. Okay, welcome back. It's Christian. My call sign is K0STH. Steve's still here. We're working hard to get Karen Eve Murray. A lot of snow on the East Coast. Maybe that has something to do with it. But we'll check in with her. And we're going to share some Christmas stories. Christmas is going to be Friday. So unless we do some kind of wacky stream during that day, anything you're looking for this year, Steve? Is there anything that you can think of that you would want?
No, not really. It drives my family nuts.
Yeah.
Because every year they ask, well, what do you want? No, nothing. I'm just happy to be with the family and watch them, especially the kids open up their Christmas presents. And we'll have our grandson here, one of them this year, and it'll be just fun to watch. And I'm pretty easy. I'm cheap, but and easy. So, but no, my wife always figures something out, and it's most of the time it's not amateur radio related. It's but other than that, it's I'm just happy to be around family and enjoying the ambiance and looking forward to the gluttony when it comes to the meals.
Do you have a big circle, like a bubble? I guess I call it the bubble. I've got my in-laws are in the bubble. They're close by, of course. They watch my children. And so, it's going to be different this year, of course, but kind of the same without an extended family. And I got to say, for it to come out the right way, I actually enjoyed a smaller unit at Thanksgiving. No offense to anybody that I normally spend my time with, but it's a lot of expectation, you know what I mean? There's a lot of
drama.
You're on, and there's some drama. You got the weird uncle over there who's kind of doing that again. And what's wrong with that guy? I don't know. It's that. But, I kind of enjoyed that sort of laid back.
I really like the smaller, gatherings. And this year for Thanksgiving, it was, just my wife, my youngest son, and the oldest daughter and her husband and grandson, and it was great. It was just pretty laid back. I like the bigger family gatherings and in the summertime where the kids can run around, spread out, and it's just to let the mayhem go. Then it's just Thanksgiving, Christmas time, kind of like to just kind of ease back and take it easy and just soak it all in with the immediate, the small bubble. I like
All
the
right,
big
Steve.
bubble in the summertime.
All right, the gang's all here. So I want to talk to you a little bit about what's going to happen here. We are going to, I started thinking about bringing in, talking about a couple of stories. The one thing about Amateur Radio Newsline and some of the others is that you don't get a lot of time to open these stories up. So here you are, and I'm way too big in this one here. What's the best way? Nope, I don't like the view of that one. This one's better. This one's better. So we started a new thing this week called the Radio News, and it could be stories related to amateur radio, could be radio in general, broadcast radio, whatever it is. Radio's radio. And I've invited Karen Eve Murray, KD2GUT, and Paul, WD9GCO, and we're going to take a little bit of time here to open these stories up. And I asked, because Karen is the editor. We talked about her a little bit in the front, and Don talking about you taking this role on. It's everything's volunteer, and it's heavy, and you're shuffling things around the world, doing these stories, assembling a great product. And so I figured she's got to be here. And then
she's the adult in our family.
Oh,
I don't push
your luck.
Yeah, I don't know about that, Paul. I don't know.
You don't see my Christmas sweater. I'll stand up when we're done with the serious part. You'll see what I'm wearing.
Okay.
The problem is that if you stand up, that may encourage Paul to stand up, and I don't know that that's something where we want to be.
No, I know his secret. Yes.
Yeah,
that's risky. So we know the format. We talked about the format. We're going to bring up two stories. You guys are going to bring them in. One may be a general, you should know this kind of story that people are talking about. One may not, maybe quirky, maybe, different and fun. So Karen, what did you come up with this week as your lead story that we should be talking about?
Okay. This story began with the name Havana Syndrome, which is what officials were calling it. The State Department investigated it because a number of government employees working overseas were coming down with these bizarre neurologic symptoms. A report just came out saying that this is the result of RF, microwave. Why do we care? Well, we care a lot as amateur radio operators because people are not thrilled in some neighborhoods when a tower goes up and they're afraid that somebody keys the mic and their kids are going to grow an extra head or extra limbs. They're afraid of getting sick from RF. We hear stories about attacks going on in Europe and elsewhere against towers for 5G, the antennas going up. There's a whole lot of fear, a lot of hating going on right now. RF is not the most popular thing to be engaging in. Lots of concerns. So clearly, when you get a U.S. State Department commissioning a study that looks at why these folks overseas were getting sick, and it points the finger at microwave and calls it sonic attacks, which is the phrase that was used. We need to know about this too as hams, because clearly people are going to point the finger at HF. People are going to point the finger, even hams who use microwave. So there is a big concern about that. Now, I should add very quickly that in the report, when the State Department mentioned it looked like that was the culprit, they indicated these transmissions were not being done deliberately. They were not done with malice. Okay, but nonetheless, the science is there. And that's really the worry of many members of the public whenever an antenna or a tower goes up.
So just a quick follow-up. I mean, who is reporting this to the general public overseas? Like, how is it becoming a thing, to the people there who are concerned?
Well, people have been protesting. I mean, they've been torching Again, this is not the microwave story per se that we led with this week. This is just the context in which this story comes. All year, I mean, we've been hearing on and off. I believe in Canada, this also happened. People have been torching, knocking down, attacking the 5G towers. People have been going crazy. In some cases driven by more by fear than knowledge. And we know how that goes. We know how hysteria can build. Now, that's not to say RF is not a concern. I think we all know we need to monitor RF. That's, anyone who's gotten an RF burn can attest to that. But there's reality and then there's fear. So
Yeah.
I think what happens, it just builds. It just builds. It's kind of a crowd hysteria.
And the problem is that you have to really get technical to understand the different kinds of RF. And some is safe, some is not. But for people who aren't technical or aren't into radio or don't understand, it's just all radio waves. So, a standard broadcast or ham radio stuff down in HF is not the dangerous kind. I mean, within reason. I mean, if you're going to stand right next to a kilowatt or 2 kilowatts or, 50, if you work for a broadcast station, there's going to be some problems. But that's not the same kind of RF as microwave RF or, people don't even think you're surrounded by it all. You wear Bluetooth headphones, you're walking around listening to music. That's tiny little radio transmitters right next to your head, just like a cell phone. There is no conclusive evidence that that's a problem. So, I mean, the thing is, you're right. The non-technical people tend to lump it all together as big, scary radio waves when it's not necessarily. Now, I've got a friend who died from brain cancer who had been, when he was in the Army, he had been in, he had clearance to work on top secret radar installations. And they're pretty confident that the work that he did in that close proximity to that kind of power at radar frequencies ultimately contributed later in life to the brain cancer. But that's the kind of thing. If you're around that, and back then they didn't know that, because that was back in the early 70s, back when he was doing that. And things like that are dangerous, but things like what we do now, to be fair, we still play with microwaves. So, but the people I think that play with 10 gigahertz and stuff understand the risks, and they're working at lower powers. And they also understand you don't stand in front of the antenna. So it's a challenge to get the public to understand that not everything that's a radio wave is going to kill you. But there's a level of paranoia that you can't get through on some people that, it's the same ones that are convinced that the government is sending brain control waves through the air. And it's hard to get through that.
Karen, what should we do as hams? What should we watch out for? Naturally, we'll follow the story through Amateur Radio Newsline. What should we do as everyday citizens to pay attention, to kind of keep an eye on this?
Okay, what we need to do, and that's, thank you for asking that, Christian. I think what we need to do is just be open to the opportunity to educate people. Obviously, right now, we can't be inviting them into our shack for reasons of COVID. But I think we need to educate people as much as we can, certainly about HF. I mean, we can't speak to the modes of transmission we don't use. And clearly, if I'm not operating microwave, I'm not going to talk to somebody about microwave. I'm not going to discuss their cell phone and say, don't put it up to your ear. But I think as far as safeguarding what we use, most of us use UHF, VHF, and HF. I think we need to talk to people, educate them.
What should we look at for story number 2? What did you dig up this week that maybe didn't make it into the headlines and the crunch times and all that sort of thing? What story did you come up with?
Well, we do have actually this made it in, but it hasn't developed yet. So we're kind of raising the curtain on this. This story is actually several stories, and it hinges on the fact that goodness knows we all love a good eyeball QSO. I mean, let's face it, we like to talk, we like to get together, we like to hang out. That's not possible this year. And what we've been seeing all year is a replacement of the in-person with the virtual. Thank goodness we have the technology for that. But Paul and I were talking, and I said, Paul, what do you think after this is all done with? Are people really going to want to get on that airplane or train or hop in their car and do this stuff again in real life? Will clubs really want to? Yeah, on a rainy night, people really want to get in their car and drive to the meeting when they can do it on Zoom. And for that, we've discussed the fact that Ham Radio University will be virtual, which is cool for Paul because he said to me, "Hey, I can attend this year."
Yeah, I mean that's held in New York, and I can't get there for that. And I think that when we're allowed to gather again, I think that's not going to go away because like my club, I'm president of my club, and it's social. It's not just getting together to talk about radio. It's 20 or 30 guys get together once a month and we all hang out. We have presentations, which, by the way, things like Zoom now allow us to bring in presenters from anywhere without worrying about, can we afford to fly some guy in from New York to tell us how to build a little project? No, we can get him on the big video wall in our room and we can do that. So, but I don't think that the virtual part needs to go away. I think it can be both because like with the Contest University, which I can never get there the night before Hamvention to do that, or Ham Radio University, I can't get to New York to do that. And that opens that up to the entire world. It's more than just the people who can fit into a hotel conference room in New York. It's anybody who can. There's still going to be people who want to go to it, and that's fine because there's a lot of things you can do in direct personal interaction that you can't do online, or it's hard to get across. But I don't think that should go, the virtual part should go away because that opens up your event to the globe instead of just the people who can afford to go to New York and cram into that thing. And if you want to charge admission for the online thing, that's fine. If I find value in what you're doing, I will pay for it. The virtual, the QSO Today virtual Hamfest was a good experiment, and he learned a lot from that, and he learned things that he's going to do it again. And I think things like that have a place still in this world. We've learned that my wife and I were just discussing one of the problems with this lockdown is that there are now too many things that you can stream at one point. It's like we may want to watch a concert. There could be like 6 of them today. We just don't have time. So we have a wealth of things available to us. And I don't think that should go away. I think you should be able to, if you want to see a presentation from Hamfest in Florida that you can't get to, pay your $10 and watch it online. It opens up your revenue stream. It opens up who can attend your event. So I think it should continue. I don't think it will replace the in-person because, and it also in a virtual Hamfest, you can't really walk through the flea market, which may or may not be good because my wife appreciates that I won't be able to bring home a car full of old stuff. But
Karen, I'll come to you for a wrap here. Go ahead.
Yeah. But I think it should. I think the virtual part of it should continue even when we are allowed to have in-person gatherings again.
Yes, I think the global access that the virtual event gives is amazing. How nice to be able to do that if you can't get out of the house. But in the chat room, our team member Ed, DD5LP, pointed out a really good point. There truly is an economics to this. You and Brian as well, W7JET. There are raffles that go on. There are a lot of annual costs that a club will have that they try to make up through having these events, even the small events locally. I mean, never mind the big events like Hamvention. You're right. A flea market, a virtual flea market is, I guess it could be held, but it's really problematic. That's eBay.
and that's why you don't replace it. And the thing with the raffles is you can sell your raffle tickets online unless there's some sort of local law against that. But that opens, instead of maybe the 200 guys that show up to your Hamfest who buy a ticket. Now, if you're giving away a radio, you may have 4,000 guys buy a ticket.
All right.
Or guys and gals. I don't mean to just say men.
Sure.
But I mean, it opens up. You may have 4,000 people buy tickets now for the chance to buy that radio. So I don't think it's a replacement. I think it's a nice addition to.
Yeah. Going to need content. Going to need content. And I think that's one part about it. As being a producer, I find that content is going to be having to run parallel with pretty much whatever you want to do, whether it's a museum or whatever. You're going to need that element. My thanks to Karen, KD2GUT, and Paul, Whiskey Delta 9 Golf, Charlie, Oscar, for stopping by. Hopefully we'll do it again next week. Yeah. And I appreciate you bringing the stories here. I want to welcome people watching to put their questions and comments in the chat as well, and we can pick up the conversation. We're going to wrap up side A of 100 Watts in a Wire. And we'll come back in just about a minute for side 2. My thanks to Karen and Paul. 7-3, guys.
To join the 100 Watts in a Wire community, visit 100wattsinawire.com.